Satan's perversion. Of what God, he pervert the word of God. We got the prosperity pimps right now. It's a perfect example of it. Taking God's tithes and blessings, which does belong to the Lord. Malachi 4 or Malachi 3 says you cuss with a cuss. You don't tithe. I taught on tithing. I'm not against giving. I'm against the perverted teaching of giving. You give God's way. He promises to bless you and also remove curses from your family. But it's a proper way to give. You can't even study the Bible without reading offering. Especially all through the Old Testament. God took up an offering. Moses, Abraham, offering. Noah, an offering. As soon as Noah got off the ark, an offering. Cain and Abel. First murder had to do with offering, giving to God. You can go on and on. To the New Testament. First murder in the Bible had to do with giving to God. What was the couple God killed? I'll think of that name in a minute. I haven't had to say that, and I taught on them actually. No, what's the name of that couple? I don't know what my mind's stuck on. But that was the first murder in the New Testament by God. He killed millions probably. If you count the flood, if you count Sodom and Gomorrah, the whole metropolis, whole city. But he was pretty quiet in the New Testament. That's why a lot of people think there's a whole different God. And some people reject the Old Testament. They said, no, that couldn't be God. That God, to them, looked evil. No, it's the same God. He just let you slide on into hell, the fire now. And you'll have all eternity to see as a viewfinder where you screwed up with God. As his judgment is meted out to you, what you sow you should reap in the next life. If you don't repent. Now, God hasn't changed. He said, I'm God, I change not. We change, we go through. He's the same today, yesterday, forever. That's the same God of the Old Testament, the New Testament. He said, I change not. He gave breaks back then. Don't forget, Methuselah. He was the what is it, 969 years, I believe, Methuselah lived. God said, when he died, the end would come. That was God's grace right there. He let that man live longer than any other man showing his grace. 969 years. Now, the Bible says a day with the Lord is 1,000 years. And 1,000 years, as it's a day, God's prophetic time clock in thousands of years. No man reached 1,000 years. Even Adam died short of 1,000. But God says sin comes death. And man been dying ever since. After he disobeyed God in the garden. And Satan's a liar and been a liar. God's been proving Satan a liar over and over again. But man's been buying what Satan's been repackaging and selling over to him over and over again. That you too can be God. You can be your own God. You can even use this God in your quest to be God. To make you a bigger God. Satan is selling to save rebellion. This is the Garden of Eden. If it ain't broke, why fix it? Keep working. Keep getting people in there. It's easy. People in the hellfire roasted right here. Since the dawn of time. That's why the Bible tells you to beware of the wiles of the devil. The methodos, wiles of the devil, the methodos in the Greek. His methods, zemo, modus operandi. Be aware. Some of you are not. You suckers for Satan. Be sober. Be vigilant. Because your adversary, and he's our adversary. The adversary of man, the adversary of God, man, life. If you're on the side of God, you, even if you were in a death cult or on the side of the death cult, when you get converted, the Holy Spirit comes in you. You become a new creation, reborn, born again, full of life. You're not the dead old man anymore. In the cult of death. You're outside Christ, you're in the cult of death no matter what. It ain't that you got to believe in an abortion. They say regardless, you're still in the cult of death. The sin comes death. Life comes through Christ. The regeneration comes through Christ. Creating man in our image, after our likeness, starts over in Christ. Christ was the second Adam. He knew no sin. He did not go his own way. He struggled in the Garden of Gethsemane. Did my teaching on the Garden of Gethsemane. But he did not go his own way. He said, thine will be done. Not as my will, but thine will. That's what we say. To God the Father, thine will be done. See, people love to put fancy tags on sin. Do this, I don't do that. Or some want to return to the law, keeping the Sabbath, which Paul was avid against. He would give a teaching, James versus Paul. Where the church would have been a splinter sect of Judaism if it wasn't for Paul, who said, I'm born out of due season. God sent Paul to straighten out the Ebionites, James crowd, the church of the poor, that was returning the church to Judaism, keeping Sabbaths and moons and circumcision. Wouldn't go sit in Pastor James' church without getting whacked. That wasn't going to happen. Church of the whacker. He's going to whack that foreskin right off. That's what the division of the church came about, behind whacking. Didn't we teach you? It'd be very both informative and entertaining. I'm pretty hard on Brother James. And the church has been split pretty much ever since. Between the self-righteous doo-doo crowd who don't understand all our righteousness as it's a bloody tampon, a filthy rag, a woman on a rag. Not even impressed. But our righteous, so many Christians get full of themselves. And they'll turn out. Jesus was around sinners, real people. Called one of the biggest sinners in town, Zacchaeus, out of a tree. Their feast with him. Even the religious mob of his day rebuked him for having one of the biggest whores in town at his feet, washing his feet with her tears. Jesus said, whom is forgiven much, loved much. The woman's a big sinner. She loves much. Nobody else did what she did. She washed my feet with her and dried my feet with her hair. Washed my feet with her tears and dried my feet with her hair. And then gave the best, an alabaster box. Very expensive. He pissed Judas off. Judas was pissed. He was carrying the money bag. He was skimming from the money bag. He said this could have been sold and giving to the poor. He didn't give a fat rat's tail about the poor. He was scheming. That's most charities. 80, 85, sometimes 90% go upstream before it go downstream. Poor don't get very much. 10%. 20% if they're lucky. A lot of millionaires made off the poor. the Mother Teresa mob. Millions, hundreds of millions. Very little, the poor gets very little. It's the spirit of Judas, still working through the non-profit organization, even into today. You want a personal relationship with Christ. You want God's Spirit to change you inside out, not you outside in. You carve it on yourself, like the Philandrians. That's why the word metanoia. Change your ways, change your mind, brainwash yourself with God's word. It's literally what it means. Metanoia. Wash your brain. Wash your dirty brain with God's word. There's power in the word. And you heard me since I've been on street preach for years. Say, if a man is poking a lion with a stick in a cage, you ain't got to do nothing but open the cage and a lion can defend himself. He don't need you. You just open the cage for him. And I doubt if he'll bother you. So animals got sense. Say, well, this guy let me out, I ain't gonna eat him. But he will eat that guy that was poking him. A bear or anything else. You save an animal, the animal become your friend for life. There's many stories of that. Wounded predators that was bandaged up or saved by a man that came back later and saved their life. Animals don't forget. Sometimes they got more sense than human beings. Sometimes you would think they have more gratitude. I have a few pets myself. They don't talk back and they're gracious when you feed them. We appreciate the fire. We appreciate the home. Brother Jay has got them living. Anyway, we want a personal relationship with Christ. Let me get into Moses. Because I don't know read too much anyways. Sorry for that long intro. And when the year came around, being 72nd year from the Israelites going down into Egypt after the death of Joseph, Zepho, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, fled from Egypt, he and his men, and they went away. And he came to Africa, which is Nineveh, to Aegeus, king of Afrix. I guess king of Africa. Oops. And Aegeus received them with great honor, and he made Zepho the captain of the host. And Zepho found favor in the sight of Aegeus and in the sight of his people. And Zepho was captain of the host to Aegeus, king of Africa, for many days. And Zepho enticed Aegeus, king of Africa, to collect all his army to go and fight with the Egyptians and with the sons of Jacob and avenge of them the cause of his brother. Still can't let it go. But Aegeus would not listen to Zepho to do this thing. For Aegeus knew the strength of the sons of Jacob and what they had done to his army in the warfare with the children of Esau. And Zepho was in those days very great in the sight of angels and in the sight of all the people. And he continually enticed them to make war against Egypt, but they would not. He said, I ain't going that route again. They keep wiping us out, the sons of Jacob. And it came to pass in those days, there was in the land of Chittim a man in the city of Puzimna, whose name was Uzu. And he became degenerately defied by the children of Chittim. And the man died and had no son, only one daughter, whose name was Jasher. And the damsel was exceedingly beautiful, comely and intelligent. There was none seen like unto her for beauty and wisdom throughout the land. And the people of Angus, king of Africa, saw her, and they came and praised her unto him. And Angus sent to the children of Shittim, and he requested to take her unto himself for wife. And the people of Shittim consented to give her unto him for a wife. And when the messengers of Angus were going forth from the land of Shittim to make their journey, behold, the messenger of Turnus, king of Bibictu, came unto Shittim. To Turnus, king of Bibictu, also sent messengers to request Johnny for him. Uh-oh. So we got two kings vying for the same woman. I mean, I've said for years, women have started wars. Don't underestimate the power of a woman. To take unto himself for a wife. And all the men had praised her to him. Therefore he sent all his servants unto her. So she got two proposals from two different kings. And the servants of Tunis came to Shittim, and they asked for Johnny to be taken unto Tunis, their king, for a wife, or Turnus. And the people of Shittim said unto them, we cannot give her, because Angus, king of Africa, desired her to take her unto him for a wife before you came, and that we should give her unto him. And now therefore we cannot do this thing, to deprive Angus of the damsel, in order to give her unto Turnus. For we are greatly afraid of Angus, lest he come in battle against us and destroy us. And Turnus, your master, will not be able to deliver us from his hand. And when the messengers of Turnus heard all the words of the children of Shittim, they turned back to their master and told him all the words of the children of Shittim. And the children of Shittim sent a memorial to Angus, saying, behold, Turnus has sent for Janus, to take her unto him for a wife. And thus have we answered him. And we heard that he has collected his whole army to go to war against thee, and thee intends to pass by the road of Sardinia to fight against thy brother Lucius. And after that he will come to fight against thee. And Antius heard the words of the children of Shittim, which they sent to him in the record. And his anger was kindled, and he rose up and assembled his whole army, and came through the isles of the sea, the road of Sardinia, unto his brother Lucas, king of Sardinia. And Nobilus, son of Lucas, heard that Uncle Angus was coming, and he sent out to meet him with a heavy army, and he kissed him and embraced him. And Nibal said unto Angus, When thou askest my father after his welfare, whom I shall bring with thee to fight with Turnus, ask of him to make them captain of the host. And Angeus did so. And he came unto his brother, and his brother came to meet him, and he asked him after his welfare. And Angeus asked his brother Lucius after his welfare, to make his son Niblos captain of the host. And Lucius did so, and Angeus and his brother Lucius rose up, and they went toward Turnus to battle. And there was with him a great army and heavy people. And when he came in ships, they came into the province of Asterish. And behold, Turnus came toward them, for he went forth to Sardinia, and intended to destroy it, and afterward to pass on from there to Angeus to fight with him. And Angeus and Lucas, his brother, met Turnus in the valley of Canopia. And the battle was strong and mighty between them in that place. Now they going to war over a woman. Keep that in mind. And the battle was severe upon Lucas, king of Sardinia, and all his army fell. And Niblos, his son, fell also in that battle. And Uncle Angeus commanded the servants, and they made a golden coffin for Niblos, and they put him in it. And Angeus again waged battle toward Turnus. And Angeus was stronger than he, and he slew him, and he smote all his people with the edge of the sword. And Angeus was no joke. But he was like Nimrod of his day, avenged the cause of Niblos, his brother's son, his nephew, and cause of the army of his brother Lucas. And when Turnus died, the hands of those that survived the battle became weak, and they fled from before Angeus and Lucas his brother. And Angeus and his brother Lucas pursued him into the high road, which is between Alphinum and Loma, and they slew the whole army. They slew the whole army. Who says the Bible is not an exciting book? I told you. Full of war, heads being chopped off. How many times have we read this? It's a war book. Even the Revised King James is minus the Apocrypha. It's still a war book. Numerous wars throughout the book. The Bible's an exciting book. It's made void by the traditions of men. It's made boring by the traditions of men. How many wars have we read since we've been studying the Bible? Between Alphinum and Rome, they're warring over a woman. And they slew the whole army of Turnus, killed everybody with the edge of the sword. And Lucius, king of Sardinia, commanded his servants that they should make a coffin of brass, and they should place therein the body of his son Niblos. And they buried him in that place. That's his nephew. And they built upon it a high tower, there upon the high road. And they called the name of it Niblos until this day. And they also buried Turnus, king of Benbitu, there, in the place of Niblos. So they gave him an honorary burial because he was a king, even though they defeated him. And behold, up on the high road between Alphinum and Rama, the grave of Niblos is on one side, and the grave of Turnus on the other, and a pavement between them until this day, time and death and battle. And then Niblos was buried. Lucas, his father, returned with his army to his land of Sardinia, and Angeus, his brother, king of Africa, went with his people to the city of Benbitu, that is the city of Terminus. And the inhabitants of Benbitu heard of the fame, and they were greatly afraid of him. And they went forth to meet him with weeping and supplication. They humbled themselves, and the inhabitants of Benbitu entreated of angels not to slay them, nor destroy their city. And he did so, for Benbitu was in those days reckoned as one of the cities of the children of Shem. Therefore he did not destroy the city. And from that day forward the troops of the king of Africa went to Shittim to spoil and plunder it. And wherever they went, Zepho, the captain of the host of angels, would go with them. And it was after this that Angels turned with his army, and they came to the city of Puzum. And Angels took thence Janna, the daughter of Uzu, for his wife, and brought her to his city unto Africa. Went got his wife. Now, how many men, thousands of men died for this one woman? I wish I could go straight here, but I can't. I gotta keep it clean for the kids. And it came to pass at this time, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, commanded all his people to make for him a strong palace in Egypt. And he also commanded the sons of Jacob to assist the Egyptians in building. And the Egyptians made a beautiful and elegant palace for a royal habitation. And he dwelt therein, and he renewed his government, and he reigned securely. And Zebulun, the son of Jacob, died in that year. And that is the 72nd year of the going down of the Israelites to Egypt, 72 years. And Zebulun died at 114 years old, and was put into a coffin, given unto him, and given into the hands of his children. And in the 75th year died his brother Simeon. He was 120 years old at his death, and he also was put in a coffin and given into the hands of his children. And Zephu, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, captain of the host, and Angels, king of Damu, was still daily enticing Angels to prepare for battle, to fight with the sons of Jacob. Can't let it go. In Egypt, and Angels was unwilling to do this thing, for his servants had related to him all the might of the sons of Jacob, and what they had done unto them in battle with the children of Esau. And Zepho was in those days daily enticing Angels to fight. He was vexing with the sons of Jacob in those days. And after some time, Angels hearkened to the words of Zepho. We wore him down. Come on, man, let's go to war. Come on, man, let's go to war. David, he's a star child in the army, captain of his army. He's a warrior. So we have respect for him. But he's building them up. We can take these sons of Jacob. We can take these guys. These guys are chumps. We can take them. And consented to him to fight. Finally wore him down with the sons of Jacob in Egypt. And he just got all his people in order. That's a death sentence. And the people numerous as the sand which is up on the sea shore. And he formed his resolution to go to Egypt to battle. And amongst the servants of Angels was a youth, 15 years old, Balaam, the son of Beor. Remember? I told you, we find Balaam, that was his descendants. Under Angels of Africa, the wizard that had the jackass, guy that had to use the jackass to get a message across. Give him a teaching, a jackass preachers. And I talk about the total Balaam. And jackasses are still preaching. And among the servants of Angels was a youth, 15 years old, Balaam, the son of Beor was his name. And the youth was very wise and understood the art of witchcraft. Did you get that? A wizard. He's a full-blown wizard at the age of 15. And he just said unto Balaam, conjure, pay close attention, conjure, call up for us, I pray thee, with thy witchcraft, and we may know who will prevail in the battle to which we are now proceeding. Before we go to war, summon one of your demons, conjure them up, and tell us if we're going to win or not. Soothsayer, Balaam. And Balaam ordered that they should bring him wax, and he made thereof the likeness of chariots and horsemen, representing the army of angels and the army of Egypt. And he put them in the cunningly prepared waters that he had for that purpose. And he took in his hand the boughs of myrtle trees, and he exercised his cunning, and he joined him over the water, and there appeared unto him in the water the resembling images of the host of angels falling before the resembling images of the Egyptians and the sons of Jacob. So he said, you're going to die, man. You go to war with them. And Balaam told this thing to Aegeus, to Angeus. And Angeus despaired and did not harm himself to go down to Egypt to battle. And he remained in his city. Now that's the power of this warlock, Balaam, as we encounter him in Numbers 22. He was the real deal. If he put a curse on you, it stuck. He was a real warlock. And when Zepho, the son of Eli,